My wife first arrived, and a year later, I joined her after she got her job. We were starting afresh. We knew there were going to be challenges ahead, but we knew long term there was going to be a great opportunity. I remember finding a place for us was hard because we didn't have credit history. So trying to find a place where, especially in Kitchener at that point in time, a place where someone that had no credit history to get a place, we had to find a co-signer to sign the document with us before we could get the place to stay. But the place that we ended up staying was a shady environment. Police was called more than once, like all sorts of craziness in this place, but that was the only place we could find that we could call residence. Finding a job was hard as well. I applied between my first and second job. I had a situation where for months I couldn't find anything. I was very frustrated. My first job that I got here in Canada was a very frustrating one as well, because when I was hired to come in and take over a department and do some amazing things, but my boss didn't allow me to do any work. It felt like, you're from Africa, you don't know what we do here or how we do things, so let me tell you how it's done. And there was we clashed and butt heads a lot. I was let go of after 3-4 months within the organization. So finding a job was hard. Keeping a job was hard. Understanding the culture was hard, and it was a very, very challenging time for me. But the way I overcame those challenges was, number one, sticking through. Number two, humility. I felt like I needed to reset my brain and learn things all over. I needed to learn about the workplace culture here in Canada. I needed to understand that I was in a new place, and I can't walk in like I owned everything. I had to learn how things were done and here. And then also the importance of building my network, because through my network I was able to develop a support system, and I was able to get better advice from people that have been here longer. So back home in Nigeria, I worked in radio and TV broadcasting for a while, and on the side as well I was doing consulting work. Training and development and consulting for corporate organizations. So when I moved over here, I didn't even bother trying to go into radio or TV. And the reason being, I felt, here you are, this African, this black person with a Nigerian accent, and you're coming over here and you want to go on TV? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, relax, calm yourself down. And for some reason, I just didn't see myself being able to get into that space here. So I didn't even bother trying. And I just went into the consulting field because I felt if I can get my MBA, if I can get the certifications required, that would be an easier area and direction to go into. And there are many times where immigrants, you're faced with those types of decisions as well, where your career path in another country, when you come here, suddenly it's more competitive here, or there's just a limited amount of radio or TV stations, or that in the economic world, we're transitioning out of those technologies and those spaces and moving into a new place. So you don't want a situation where you can't find a job because we're transitioning out of that and we're moving into something else as a society. So you need to do your research around your industry. And you need to make a decision. Is this the career and industry path that I still want to go through? Or do you want to start and try something new and transfer your skills? And I've heard many immigrants say they change career paths here because it was harder, or because they realized, hey, you know what? This is not the path that Canada is going, just like my country, so I need to figure something else out. So it's one of those decisions that need to be made, and I strongly suggest that people make those decisions. Somehow I wanted to stay away from radio, but I ended up back in radio, which is quite interesting. So I have a radio show on CBC now called How To Canada, which is very exciting. I have a podcast as well, which I'm quite excited about. I'm on several boards. I'm on a board of an organization called Adventure for Change. They do a lot of great work in the community in Kitchener and Waterloo, so it's great to be a part of that. I'm on the board of Leadership Waterloo, developing leadership curriculum and training for leaders in our community. I have a real estate practice as well, where I raise money with investors. We buy properties, apartment buildings, and we rent it out to people. The sky is the limit in Canada. You can become anything you want to be. Don't allow anyone to hold you back.